The Great Serpent Mound of Ohio, USA was built with the same concept as Nordormen in Vallsta, Sweden. The oval, which many people have been curious about for decades what it could represent, is just like its Swedish cousin, a mirrored image of the sun and the constellation of Cancer, as seen from the ground, both of which were in line with each other in ancient times during the summer solstice, in an area of the sky called the Tropic of Cancer. The reason for its egg shape has to do with the Vikings' beliefs, who likely thought the sun was a boiling egg. The same egg is known as the world egg in many cultures around the world. This medieval map, made in 1539 by Olaus Magnus, a Swedish bishop, shows where the Tropic of Cancer ends, at the Arctic Circle. North of this point the sun won't set and is visible throughout the whole day. This is depicted with an enormous sea creature found just outside the coast of Norway, in the Norwegian Sea. The same monster is about to defeat a giant lobster or crayfish, and doing so while flipping it upside down. The Tropic of Cancer is called Kräftans vändkrets in Swedish. From Swedish to English it would translate a bit differently. There is no exact translation available. It basically means the crayfish turns back when it reaches this point, which is more true to what is seen in the map. Some researchers have mistaken the Great Serpent Mound of Ohio to represent the constellation of Draco. This is false. First off, the constellation of Draco should have been mirrored when it was depicted on the ground. Secondly, we already know the Serpent of Vallsta, Sweden, is supposed to symbolize both the Hydra and the Midgård serpent. If the Serpent Mound do indeed symbolize the same constellation, why is it so small compared to Nordormen in Vallsta, Sweden? The answer is very simple, and it will shock and amaze most of you. This celestial program shows what the starry sky would have looked like in Ohio, USA during the Viking Age. Around the time of the summer solstice, the constellation of Hydra is partially hidden below the horizon when the sun sets, while in Sweden the entire constellation is hidden. The mound builders simply decided to cut the snake below its upper part, since it was not visible, to show what was hidden below the ground at the time of the summer solstice sunset. This was something that intrigued the Vikings greatly. It gets even more accurate as you go further back in time. About 3,000 years before Christ, about the time this knowledge was first invented. Now, to the big surprise of this program, I have previously said the serpent no longer exists. This is not necessarily true. As previously mentioned, a creek was running through the serpent's body, a creek that still exists to this day. After examining the site on location, I believe the lower part of the serpent in particular could be intact. It may not ever have changed in its shape, and is most likely part of the creek, since its shape is a depiction of the constellation of Hydra, and placed out so perfectly in relation to the solar events. It must mean it wasn't created by nature. It was most likely digged out by humans, and that is what is needed to go forward and try to convince the authorities to examine the area. For those who think this is a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, are wrong. I've actually found the locations of possibly several other serpents scattered all over the landscape of Hälsingland. Unfortunately, they no longer exist, and the reason they no longer exist is probably because they too were flat compared to Serpent Mound. Let's come together and help make the summer and winter solstices become a yearly event in Valsta. Spread awareness and knowledge to the world about the Serpent of Grace, the world's largest serpent effigy earthwork